green box that says we're now broadcasting
Oh,
to all of our viewers. So that's great. Yeah, it's 9:04 Eastern, so we're just a few minutes late, but we're going to get this thing started off and kicked off. My name's Travis Ross, and myself and Paul Witter, who's also on tonight with us. We're hosting the Rocky Mountain Reseller Conference in Denver, Colorado. We're really, really excited about it. April 29th and 30th. It's resellerconference.com. If you're not familiar with that, you probably have heard about it somewhere on Facebook, but if you haven't, go over to resellerconference.com and check that out. We're really, really excited to get this great group of people together tonight and share with you about the topic of networking. I mean, how better to do networking than to have a bunch of people that we are going to be able to network with and just here in a few weeks at the conference. So format for tonight, I've scheduled an hour and a half. It may not go that long, but it won't go longer than that. What we plan to do is just ask a few questions. I'm just going to go through. We've got lots of great people on tonight, and I'm just going to go through. We're going to rifle through these questions and allow each of our participants to share a tip, to share a story about how networking has impacted their business, and then we'll do a lightning round at the end. That'll be fun. If you do have any questions, you can go ahead and type those over in the chat area, and we'll kind of be monitoring those on and off. We'll be chatting with you when we're not on camera and not answering questions. And we want to actually make this a networking event. So first and foremost, thanks for coming. If you haven't heard about the conference, check out the Rocky Mountain Reseller Conference at resellerconference.com. With that said, I want to introduce everybody. So why don't we just go around and introduce everyone. Everybody introduce yourself. We've got Andy Slammons. We'll start with you, Andy.
Hey everyone, so I'm Andy Slammons. I'm coming from Hershey, Pennsylvania. I've been an Amazon seller for 3 years, and I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be at the Denver conference in 2 weeks. If you are watching this and you have not registered for the Denver conference, you need to come. It's going to be a great conference.
Totally. That's great. Kristen, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Kristen Ostrander from mommyincome.com. I've been an Amazon seller for over 7 years now. I am also excited to speak at the Denver conference. I'm excited to meet you guys all. I think everyone should come if they're not coming. Just to meet Andy, to meet all these great people. I'm excited to see some of you guys again as well, and to just meet a bunch of people. So
awesome. Jason, your turn.
Okay. I'm Jason Wilkie. I am Chris's dad. We're on opposite ends of towns. I'm on the south side. He's on the north side. I'm pretty good friends with Travis, and I think I know most of the people here in the panel. I've been doing FBA full-time for over a year. Kind of haven't given much effort on it. I've had a lot of stuff going on in my personal life, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be at the conference or not. My wife actually had a stroke like a couple weeks ago, and so I've been trying to decide if I'm going to come or not, but I'm here to answer some questions.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason. Cynthia.
Hi, everyone. My name's Cynthia Stein. I've been selling since 2010, and I will be at the conference. I'll be talking about how to avoid getting suspended, and which is not a very fun topic. This is a much more fun topic. This is my 5th business I've built, and I use networking to build all of my businesses. So I'm looking forward to talking about that.
Awesome. Thanks, Cynthia. Nate, you're up, man. Quit playing video games. Let's focus here, buddy.
I quit like 5 minutes ago. But yeah, my name's Nate McAllister. I'm from, I'll just say I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, because the town I'm from is too small to really anybody to know about. I work with Cynthia at Online Sales Step by Step. I'm one of the consultants there. And I also run FBA Today and a couple other groups focused for entrepreneurs. Networking has been a huge part of my business. I try to go to as many of these conferences as I can. So if you go to any of them that are related to Amazon, I'm probably going to be there. And if you, I'm trying to get into some more, I'm going to ones that I'm not as comfortable with and other areas like marketing and other areas of e-commerce just to get out there. And I think coming to this conference, if you're not already going, you should consider it. It's awesome. It's any conference is just awesome to go to. And I know Travis is going to do a good job with this one, or he's going to have to make it up for everybody because I've been promoting it.
Thanks for the opening, Nate.
Yeah.
Hey, Robin, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Robin from Best from the Nest. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, and we work primarily with sellers who are looking to scale and grow your business, and that's actually what we're going to be talking about in Colorado. And so I'm really excited to be here. I'm excited to see all of the people that are coming in Colorado. We've been looking forward to this event, and Rochelle will be coming too, so you'll get to meet a couple people from my team. So it'll be great.
Awesome. Paul, your turn.
Hey, what's up? I'm Paul. I live in Denver. I'm Travis's partner with this event. We're excited to have everybody coming to Denver. I've been selling for about a year and a half. Travis and I met last fall and kind of, I don't know, we met over a beer and just kind of, this whole thing just kind of started. So we're excited to have everyone here.
Awesome. Chris.
Well, hello, everyone. Chris Wilkie here from FBA Master. I am the self-declared director of fun for the Rocky Mountain Reseller Conference. So if you're looking for a good time and for some convenient networking events, we're going to have a lot of fun. And my dad and I, if he will be attending, will be presenting. If not, who knows what I'll do. It makes me break dance. I don't know. But we're going to have some fun. And yeah, that's my introduction. And we look like the Brady Bunch, so it's kind of exciting and fun.
We do look like the Brady Bunch. This is awesome. Okay, so let's jump into it. So the first question I have, and we're just going to keep that same rotation. We'll start with Andy and we'll just rotate through everyone. The first question I have for everybody, would love to hear like a story about how networking has propelled your business. Give me an idea, something really inspiring and maybe really cool that happened, maybe at a conference, maybe over Facebook, maybe just a local thing. But tell a story about how it's propelled your business and has impacted your bottom line. So Andy, go ahead.
Sure. So it's interesting. I'll just go back a little bit. I wasn't a real big fan of conferences. I don't think I've ever been. And then especially when I started selling on Amazon, I kind of just wanted to get out there. I wanted to get inventory. And to me, I don't know if I didn't have a business mindset or what. I just didn't see the benefit, right, of going to a conference. Went to my first one. I think I've been to every single FBA conference since then, right, since going to my first one, because the learning and just the camaraderie, that occurred at that first one and has occurred at every single one after that, it's just tremendous. And so it's been able to, it's helped me. It's given me a lot of insight, but like you just said, the networking, for me, being able to partner with folks that you meet face to face, it just allows you to build a lot of trust. So I'll just give you one example. I have a relationship with a guy's name is Michael. He's a photographer for my private label group. Met him at the Scam Power conference. We connected. We talked to like 3 a.m. in the morning. He didn't have a photography business, but he was a good photographer. And I said, hey, did you ever think about, starting a business, taking product photos? And he said, no, he hadn't. He did. And now he's got, a long list of people that he's doing photos for. And so that's just one partnership that I was able to connect with.
Awesome. Yeah. Michael's a great guy and he does great work. He takes great photos. So it's cool, Andy. Thanks. Kristen.
Yeah, well, a way that networking has propelled my business is it actually just made my business what it was. Like you said, with conferences in particular, my first conference last year that I actually attended was the Baltimore Momentum Conference. And actually, that's where I met my new business partner, Amy Fearman, face-to-face. We had been chatting over Facebook. She asked me a question about a scam fob in a Facebook group, and we kind of just struck up this friendship and realized that we had so much in common. And it was just one of those things that were like, two heads are better than one, two ideas are better than one, and let's get together and do this thing. And so, we created some classes together. We teach classes together. We do these things now. These things would never have been possible if it wasn't for an Amazon FBA Facebook group and then a conference and then, just us continuing that relationship. And it's taken both of our businesses. I believe Amy has doubled her business in her Amazon business since her and I have kind of partnered together, and mine has gone up tremendously as well. Another thing is, in Baltimore, I had a conversation with KIB, with Karen Berzigal. I always mess up her last name. Sorry, Karen. But I had a conversation with her, and it just changed my way of thinking forever. She just said something that really impacted me, and I still carry it with me till this day, which is, if you have one person and two people, and they each have an idea, then you each have one idea. If you put those two people together and you share your idea, now you've doubled your ideas. And so you each have both of your ideas now, and you can do with that what you will. It's like a mastermind. And then multiply that by 2, 3, 4 people, and you've got all have amazing ideas and different things that you can share with each other, and there's room for everybody. And that's just what I love about conferences, and how they can just one thing that one person says at one dinner or one cocktail party or one meet and greet in the lobby can change your business forever. It's done it for me. I've even talked to a couple of people, some of you people here, they've even said something on a Facebook group that have changed the way I do business. I know that even Jason Wilkie has said some things to me that have changed the way I do merch, and I know he's just like, I'm just messing around with it, but seriously, it has. And so connecting is so important.
Totally. Well said. Okay, Jason, you're up. You did a whole video on this subject and released it this morning, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. That was just kind of a quick thing I did. Actually, I'm going to include Travis on this one. Actually, last Q4, I was standing in like a Family Dollar, and I randomly grabbed like 4 of the guys, Travis being one of them, and I did a private message. I said, "Hey, you knuckleheads, if you're if you guys got Family Dollar around here someplace, you might want to look for this stuff." And it ended up, I named the group a little like PM private message thing, the four cool guys and Travis, which Travis somehow renamed Travis and the 4 cool guys, because I think kind of lost its meaning a little bit. But I mean, and in that connecting with them, I have never met these guys in person at all. I mean, it's been online, but I think we all made a lot of extra money during Q4 just connecting with each other that way. Mm-hmm. And more than anything else we did is we've kind of been support to each other. It's kind of like a little mastermind, but it's not officially a mastermind at all. A lot of times we spend just making fun of each other, but but we also, actually have problems. Sometimes Travis will have an issue with something. He'll ask, "Hey, what should I do about this?" And it's kind of like, you don't post this kind of stuff in public groups, because a lot of times you can't give good answers in that. People don't say certain things like tax issues. You never say anything about tax issues in a public group, okay? But you can actually do that, and that's kind of propelled my business in ways. And I'm sure it's helped the other guys in it. There's, like I said, there's 3 other guys besides me and Travis in there, and I think it's helped out quite a bit.
Yeah, totally. All right, Cynthia, what about you?
Well, I've used networking a lot in my career. And I was just thinking about when I first started selling on Amazon, this was in 2010, back in the dark ages, before anyone knew what it was to sell FBA. And I knew I wanted to do this thing, but I really didn't know. I had a lot of questions. I didn't know where to get answers. And so I went out online and looked for someone to help me. And I found Chris Green, and he was local, and I asked him some questions. And when I approached him, I had no money, and I knew I couldn't offer him anything. So I traded him. I said, "You know what?" And he'll tell you this is true. I said, "Chris, your marketing sucks. And I'll tell you what, I'll help you with your marketing if you'll answer some of my questions about FBA. Is that all right?" And as they say, a beautiful friendship was formed. And I was really lucky because he was here. I got to go and meet with him. We went shopping together. We really connected, and I was able to help him. He helped me. And actually, it's because of Chris Green where I wrote my first book, because he encouraged me to do it. And, and I said, "Well, aren't you concerned I might be competing with your book?" And he was not concerned. But he actually really supported me a lot. And so that was just one case of, looking for, help. And like I said, back then we didn't have any Facebook groups. We didn't have, anything. We had Bob Willie's group, which was a great group on Yahoo, but that was it really. And I've gone to a lot of conferences since then, and I've met a lot of sellers. I formed a group here in Dallas where we have local meetups. And well, I mean, I didn't start it; someone else did, but I'm a part of that. And the reason why is because it's every time Amazon sellers get together, ideas happen. And I have a small group. We meet once a month of local sellers. We have brunch. And we sit there sometimes 5-6 hours, and all we're doing is talking about business. And they have propelled all of my endeavors. Really, they were huge about my writing the book, building my current consulting practice, talking about issues relating to Amazon sellers. I mean, I guess what I would say is, whatever you're doing in Amazon, you need to find a community. And Facebook is great. We all love Facebook, but it's not the same as, building real trust. You can't do that until you meet someone and look them in the eye and, really talk to them. And, people keep talking about drinking at conferences. You don't have to drink, but unless you want to. But I think that time spent talking is really important. And it just changes. Like, you leave a conference and you have new thoughts in your head, new ideas about where to take your business. So that's my story basically.
No, that's great. And you're right. I mean, yeah, we do talk about the late nights and the brew buses and all the beer and all of that stuff, but you're right. I mean, I know I'm literally, representing Colorado right now, having some Coors, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to be, a heavy drinker to get along with all these people. I mean, that's kind of silly. A lot of great networking is going to happen regardless of if you go on Chris's brew tour or not. You know what I mean? It's just the fact that we're there together and we're all in the same room. We're face to face, like you said. And I think that's great. Those are great points. All right, Nate, you're up, man. How has networking propelled your business?
It's been huge, man. I could probably go on all day about the different small businesses that it has helped and just small little niche things that have happened. I mean, the biggest ones, I actually met Cynthia at a conference. She didn't mention that in hers, but it affected me a lot more. So that's what I joined Cynthia at Online Sales Step by Step, is when we met in person. And I knew that I had worked with her in the past. She actually had helped me with the suspended account in the past. So that's where we had met, and I finally got to speak with her one-on-one. And, I knew that I liked her, and we started talking after that about, helping each other out and swapping secrets. Even though we were competitors, she gave me a lot of great advice and wasn't intimidated by me coming in. And I really appreciated that. And I ended up getting in with her and her team at Online Sales Step by Step. As far as every other things go, I met Andy for the first time at a conference in Providence. And that was, it was two years ago now, almost. That was awesome. I mean, I wouldn't have known most of these people if I wouldn't PM them as much if I didn't know them in person. I PM a lot of different people, but the conversations kind of end at a certain point. But like Andy and you, Travis, and Cynthia, and a lot of you guys, I know you. I've met you in person, and I'll PM you out of for other stuff. So I wouldn't just ask a random person. And also being in the services, I mean, that's what I do is services and support and developing different things to help people with their businesses grow. For me to work with anybody, I need people to know me and they need to trust me. And I can't do that. You can only do that so much over the internet. Once you get to speak with somebody in person and you get to shake their hand and talk to them about stuff that's not even related to Amazon, because that's when you really find the people you want to work with on long term. A lot of the people, I'll talk at these conferences with people, but I mean, maybe a third of the stuff is Amazon. The rest is you hang out and you talk, and you get to the vibe with people and understand what their interests are, how you relate to them, and then you find these great connections. And I mean, I have probably made 2/3 of my income has come directly in some way from connections I've made at conferences. Like I said, I've promoted this conference like crazy. So if you make me look bad, Travis, I'm gonna kill you. So But if this one is any,
Did
even
he just froze for a
even
second there? Oh, there he is. You there, Nate?
we
All right, next.
I'm not gonna say the
Nate, your
name of
video
the
game's
conference, but I went to one conference.
going over. You're talking on the thing. So
Me? I'm not gonna say the name of the conference. Yeah, can you? I turned off the video.
We love you, Nate. And
Off the list.
I'll just tell you, it's not me that's going to make you look bad, pal.
It's the audio tech guys.
Yeah. I love you, man. All right, Nate. Hey, thanks for sharing. I'm going to bypass you for now and move on to Robin.
Well, one of my favorite quotes is like, you'll be the same person that you are 5 years ago, except for the people that you meet and the books that you read. I was at ASD in Las Vegas, and there was this lady sitting in front of me, and like she was like the smartest lady. I was just listening to her talk like a total creeper, and I was like trying to lead in, and I was like, how much more? I was like, I really need to talk to this lady. So I tapped her on the shoulder. I said, excuse me, I don't want to be a creeper, but I was wondering if maybe I could take you to lunch and pick your brain. And she said, no. But you can come join us. We're going to have some people are going to come up to the suite. Why don't you come join us? And so by putting my neck out, putting my neck out there, and she invited me up to the suite. I texted my husband before I went in, like, if I die, like I'm in room 545 in the Indigo Tower. So I went in there and I met these really awesome people, and they encouraged me to do things like open my own warehouse, to get a straddle stacker instead of a forklift. They helped me make decisions that were really really critical for us to grow. And they had a panel discussion, and one day somebody called out sick for that panel discussion, so she asked me to fill in, and that's how I really started speaking about Amazon. Because of her encouragement, I met Sharon Lechter, who sold over $500 million in books. Wow. And she's introduced me to Ingrid Vandervelt, who created and hosted American Made. So I've got to meet these people at these awesome levels, people that are like working with the UN Foundation and like the Girl Up Foundation and things like that. And if I hadn't had put my neck out there a couple of times, and there's sometimes when people have been like, you're stupid, I'm not going to talk to you. And that's okay. But I put my neck out there and I put myself out there, and as a result, I got to meet some really awesome people that I'm really, really like honored that are like my friends now. And Pat has been like instrumental in helping me, like when I doubt or I'm not sure, having somebody that I can bounce ideas off, somebody who's been doing this for a long time, has been really instrumental. Napoleon Hill, the guy that wrote Think and Grow Rich, he said that he's actually the one that created that whole mastermind thing. He said when you get two or more people together, it creates a third mind, a mastermind. It creates like a synergy and an energy. And so you don't get that without working with people. And so that's why that networking is so important. And the conference, so Nate doesn't have to worry. Like the conference is going to be exactly how it is, because if you go out there with the intention of I'm going to make really great relationships, I'm going to go get all my questions answered, I'm going to go up and introduce myself to Andy, whatever it is, then you're going to have a really great conference because you'll have set yourself up to win.
Totally. Great stuff. Paul, what about you, man? Give us a story.
Hey, what's up? Well, the first one, the obvious one, is how we put this conference together. Travis and I met back in October. I had moved to Colorado a few months earlier and had already been selling on Amazon and was in the FBA master group, and saw Travis, creeped on his page, saw he lived in Erie, looked up where Erie was. I was like, oh, it's about 20 minutes away. So I was doing some other work up in the area and said, hey, reached out to him, hey, you want to meet up for lunch? So, the awkward, like, meeting for a first date. Hey, what do you look like? Hey, we met at a bar, and I like sports, and it just so happened to be the first round of the Major League, the baseball playoffs. So the Royals were playing, and Travis is a Royals fan. So we ended up sitting there for a couple hours BSing and watching baseball on a Tuesday afternoon. It was great. So from there, we just kind of became friends, and like a couple of you other were saying, sharing ideas and bouncing things off each other, and then you start to build a trust. And then one day we just, Travis threw out the idea that he was having before Christmas, and then the snowball started happening, and here we all are. And yeah, so I mean, I guess that's the other thing, is just once you start to build a trust with people, between Travis and a few other people, like Jason was saying, it boosted my sales for sure through Q4, whether it was the, hey, what do you think of this product? Oh, stay away from it. Or, hey, I found this at Walgreens, or Walgreens is having a sale, or this or that. And whether directly you go buy the same product, it motivates you to, there are times where I'd be done for the day, or think I was done, and Travis or somebody would be like, hey, I just found this, and it's 8:00 at night. You're like, ah, crap. Well, he can't beat me today, so get back in the car and go find some more stuff, So anyway, that's my story. Look forward to seeing y'all, and yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, it was a good brewery too that we met at. So, Chris, speaking of breweries.
Oh, it's me. Sorry, I'm kind of daydreaming over here looking at random things. So little story on the networking part of it. There was, if you guys have been watching me in the morning with videos or read some of the blog posts we've been writing, you will know that the entire small group of FBA masters started with a group of 4 people. And 2 of them I don't even talk to anymore. One of them was my good buddy, John. And from there, we have grown to what we are today. So that would be the small little networking story. I got some random guy from Chicago that started private messaging me, and it was kind of weird, and I kind of liked him. And it started from there, and now we're what we are. But kind of backtracking, I'm very handsy. This will be fun. On the story of the conference side of things, I've heard some comments about the brew bus and everything. So what I want to say on that end of it is the biggest thing I want to present at the conference is that all of us that are here right now are normal people. We are not some mastermind crazy lunatics that are going to be up on a stage talking, having a blast that no one else can have fun with. We're just a bunch of ordinary people that have really good stories and really good lessons to teach. And the biggest point of what we're doing is trying to educate everyone else just to not make the same mistakes we've made. So the brew bus or anything else that we end up doing is really just meant to put you in a situation where you feel like you are just my good friend who lives across the street, or like our friends who are over tonight for a cookout. We're just going to have fun because the networking happens when you are loose and you don't set those titles or, well, Chris runs FBA Master Group, so we can't talk to him because he's one of those guys. We're not in any of that. We're just going to have fun. We're going to teach you some things, but I know I will get more value out of a little bit of networking with, I don't even know who yet. It could be someone completely random that's going to be attending the conference, and I have no idea where that relationship is going to go in 6 months to 2 years.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, the FBA Master Group is that is a great example of the power of networking. It really is. So, I mean, you guys are walking it out, That's pretty cool. So if you guys came on late, if you haven't figured it out by now, the Rocky Mountain Reseller Conference is happening April 29th and 30th, and every single person you see on this screen has been invited to be a part of it, and they're all going to be there, save Jason for some personal reasons, but and he may or may not come. But everyone else here, we're all going to be there. We're all going to be excited to be a part and to network with people. If you aren't familiar with the conference, you can go to resellerconference.com. I just posted it so did Kristen. Everybody's posting it over there in the chat. And you can click on that and you can see, who's speaking, all of the dates and all of that stuff. There are a few hotel rooms still available. I was able to call the hotel and get, I think I got 10 rooms per night. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, that are at $99 for single occupancy. You can get those at our website, resellerconference.com. All right, so round 2. I would like to hear you guys share 1 or 2 techniques that you would encourage someone to engage in a networking setting. Because when I was talking to Robin earlier, she was talking about how there are a lot of people that, when we're in e-commerce, we may not be extroverts. I'm an extrovert. I like talking to people. I like getting out there. I like hosting conferences. But there are a lot of people that like the privacy of maybe sitting behind the computer monitor and doing some things from home, and that's appealing to them. So with that in mind, why don't you guys give us a few techniques, 1 or 2, that you'd encourage, maybe an introvert, maybe an extrovert, or just anyone, and give them some ideas in how they can effectively engage in a networking setting. So Andy, why don't you start us off?
Okay, sure. So Jason, right over here, he just put out a great video. If you get a chance, check it out. I'm not sure what groups that you posted that in, but it's like a 30-minute video, and it is phenomenal. I'll give you what I do. When I go to the conferences, I ask like 2 or 3 questions. First question, every person I meet, I say, how long have you been selling on Amazon? I ask them then, what's your primary sourcing method? Are you OA? Are you RA, wholesale? Do you do private label? And then I ask, do you have a favorite category? And usually when I ask those 3 questions, that kind of gets the ball rolling, and then they'll start talking. But Jason nailed it in his video. And he said, look, when you go to a conference, don't talk, listen, right? It's kind of like God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth, all right? And the thing is, like, most people love to talk about themselves. And so this is where I think, because it's funny, I'm actually introverted, even though like I like to get on stage and I like to speak, but I'm a total introvert. And going to these things is actually kind of hard for me. Like you just said, Travis, I like being in my basement and on my computer. Like I can tell Chris, I think anyway, seems to me like to be a total extrovert, right? My wife is a total extrovert. When she hangs around with people, she comes back all jazzed up. When I hang around with people, I come back tired as can be, right? I need to go into my cave. And so, but the deal is, like, I don't want to talk. When I go to these conferences, I want to glean great best practices from the sellers that I meet. And so I'm just constantly peppering them with questions. And it usually only takes 2 or 3 to get somebody to warm up, because generally, kind of like what Jason shared today, most people like to talk about themselves. And so, if you go to the conference like that, like more interested in learning about other people's business than you are about sharing your own business, then you're going to learn a lot. And for me, that's been the experience.
Yep, totally. All right. Kristen, why don't you share some tips or some techniques?
Well, one of my favorite things about networking is actually stepping outside of my comfort zone with Amazon and going to either local meetups or getting into Facebook groups. I actually prefer face-to-face. I learn more from people when I can just look into their face and listen to them and kind of just sit and listen to what their story is, and kind of just, everything else just disappears. But one of my things that I love about networking is literally stepping outside of your own comfort zone. You can learn so much about business in general, about marketing, about just other businesses if you go to a place where you're not so comfortable. I think magic happens outside of your comfort zone. And so looking up, like lately, I just joined a local meetup group that's all business women that are from my area. So some of them are CEOs of companies, other of them are stay-at-home moms and work-at-home moms like myself. Some of them are in marketing, some of them own restaurants, and they're just women in business getting together to chat and share stories about all kinds of business. And I think if you get outside of what you're used to, you're used to Amazon FBA and online e-commerce and e-sellers and all that kind of stuff, and that's what you're good at, but you can glean so much information from just business in general, and just like the stories of people. I love people's stories. And so just like Andy was saying, and again, I watched Jason's video today and it was awesome. If you guys missed the video, go find the video wherever it is. Jason Wilkie's YouTube video, something about pimping the conference or something. I can't remember what it was, but it was an awesome video. It really was. And it was talking about those things. It's just like listening to other people's stories and learning what you can learn from them. Everybody has something to share and everybody has something to learn. And so if you just put those two things together, magic happens. And I encourage people, look for local meetups. And if you're an introverted kind of person, maybe a local Facebook group that's outside of your own personal business. So if you're a reseller, you're an Amazon seller, eBay, whatever it is you do, I encourage you to step outside of that, get into a group of people that are maybe all marketers or maybe all restaurant owners or something, and learn something maybe about customer service, learn something about maybe a computer skill that you don't have, because you can always add more assets to your business model, whether it's online or not. So
Yeah, totally. Okay, Jason, your 30-minute video in 2 minutes or less.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so like I said, did the video today on it. And to be honest with you, at the conference, I'm not there for business. Okay. If I'm talking to you, I want to learn about you as a person. Okay. And I'm going to get you to talk to me. I want to find out, like I've done a lot of business with Travis, and I really just want to get to know him. You know, I ask him more questions, personal questions like that. And anybody I meet, that's going to be like that. Any of the business aspect of it, I see coming later. Okay. I make a good connection with you personally. And this struggles for me because, like they said, Chris is very outgoing, and I am not. Okay. The only way you get me outgoing is if I've been drinking a little bit. Okay. And that's pretty much, if you see me on Facebook, I've been drinking. Okay. That's pretty much a given for you. But yeah.
You're on Facebook all day, Jason. What does that say?
Okay, yeah. So, but that's the thing is really you make the connections. I mean, with people, and then later on they can help you. Like I'm in Andy's private label course. I am not going to talk to Andy about anything private label. I mean, I like Andy, and I want to know more about him. And if he ends up liking me after he meets me, hey, he's a cool dude, he will answer my questions later on. Okay. I mean, any of the people I meet like that, you know, and that's my biggest thing I wanted to do was kind of tell people that, you know, you want to get to know people more than anything else. You don't want it to go there and talk business, because the worst thing to do is walk up to somebody like Andy and, hey, give me all the private label secrets. And he's just going to be like talking to somebody else when he's done. And that's what I was just trying to do. And that stuff's really, that's old stuff. Like I said, I did the Dale Carnegie thing, which was like, I don't know, from the 20s or 30s. And so that'd be my advice to people just doing that. Like I said, watch the video and, you know, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Good stuff. All right, Cynthia, give us some techniques for networking.
Okay. Well, one of the things I wanted to say about networking is anybody can do it. So a lot of times people come, maybe they're new to selling on Amazon. They think they don't have anything to offer, and so they feel kind of shy. And what I learned a long time ago is that networking is really a giver's game, or, you know, if you want to think of it in terms of servant leadership. But you don't go into networking thinking, what am I going to get out of it? Even though, I mean, we've been talking about what we personally get out of networking. When you go and network, you're actually thinking about, what can I give to this other person? And, you know, and that's how a relationship is built. That's how trust is built. If there's someone you particularly want to meet, like I really wanted to meet Chris Green, right? But there's been other people like that. Then you think about, what can I offer them, you know, that would bring value to this? And it doesn't have to be about business or Amazon. And so the best way to learn about what somebody needs or wants or how you can help them is to listen, and to get to know who they are. A lot of times when people are talking to me, I'll be thinking like, oh, you know, this person should meet so-and-so because they have a common interest, and they could talk about this all night long, I bet. Or, you know, I do that all the time. I do it, you know, at a conference or when I'm in a group or whatever. I start thinking, oh, you and that person would really hit it off. Or you should ask that guy that question because he really knows the answer cold. Or, you know, and that's what I see my role as sort of a facilitator. I like to bring people together. I like to help people succeed. And succeed in business, succeed in life, succeed in personal projects. It doesn't have to be business. Maybe they're trying to raise money for charity or something like that. So that's kind of something that I do and I've always done, is I try to understand what people need. You know, a lot of times at conferences lately, people come up to me because they want to talk to me about what I do. But in listening to them, I find out a lot about them, about their business, how they run their business, how much it matters to them. I will tell you, that old saying, oh, it's just, it's not personal, it's just business, is a crock. Okay. Of course it's personal. This is our business and we've all worked really hard for it. And so, we don't take it impersonally. And so that's what I find fun about talking to other business people, is what the business means to them. Not like, oh, I made X million dollars or whatever, but it's more like, what do they get out of it? How do they work it? What's, what are they learning? How is their life better? Like, you guys probably all know Brian, Bieber, right? I love watching him on Facebook because, he like takes his kids shopping with him, and he's always, he's like incorporated his business into his entire life, and he's fun. And so I like to watch that. And pretty much everybody I've met has something like, really interesting about them. And so that's what I try to tap into. I try to learn, try to see how I can help them. I try to think about what can I offer them, or who can I introduce them to that might help them. So I learned a long time ago, that's the best way to really get ahead in business, because while you're busy helping other people, they'll be helping you too.
Yeah. I think if we all took a step back and like thought about the people that we really admire and we really, kind of look up to, I think that's going to be a common trait that we're going to see in those people. So thanks for sharing that, Cynthia. All right, Nate, let's hope your interwebs are fixed. Why don't you share a couple techniques for networking?
Are we going to do this? We're going to give me a shot?
We're going to give you a shot, buddy.
All right. What did I get to finish my point last time? Where did I get cut off? I was
you
really
basically just told me that I was in trouble if the conference wasn't awesome and it'd be all my fault. And then
okay, well, that was the
your
most,
mic basically cut out and nobody could hear you.
That was the most important part. As far as techniques go, I don't know. It's just, for me, I go to them a lot and I love watching the people speak and everything, but the best parts of them happen outside. I mean, nothing against the speakers. There's some great speakers. As far as Amazon goes, these are some of the best speakers you can get. But the best conversations and the most you can learn happens outside of the auditorium. It happens in the restaurants and stuff afterwards. It's just great to get there and actually get to meet people, get to meet them and know them personally and what they do. And even if it's not, like, for me, a lot of times it's, we'll end up working together, or, the people come to me that have ideas and I kind of, back and forth with them on how to do things. And sometimes it ends up being a good thing. But even if that's not, your goal, you can come out with, for sellers, you can come out as a much better seller just from talking with somebody else, even if you're not trying to partner with them, just learning how to, just to see the other side of the, the other perspective, to see people that are like you, that are, even if you're not a big seller yet, you see people speaking on the stage, but you see all of us on Facebook already, right? But you don't get to talk to those smaller people that are right there where you are necessarily. You don't get to talk to them face to face. So that's it's just one of the best thing that you can do is just spend a lot of that time. Don't be that person. Like, I watched Jason's video. I watched most of it because I was trying to see what he tagged me in it, and I was expecting some burn about Ohio State, so I wanted to make sure I could defend him if he did. But his big thing was, don't sit there and just be taking notes the whole time. They record these conferences. Are you recording the conference?
Yeah, we'll be recording it.
Right, everybody does. So I mean, watch the speakers. Take notes and stuff if you want, but you can watch the replays. You can't replay past interactions you didn't have. So you need to do that. And it's, if you've never been to a conference, I recommend, even if it's not this one, I recommend you go out there, whether you're a service person like me or if you're a seller. There's something in it for everybody. But yeah, that's all I got. My internet's stayed on this whole time.
Yeah, man, you held up.
Yeah,
I think advice too.
I think that my wife picked up the phone. We still have dial-up AOL.
Dial-up AOL.
Yeah, I'm trying to have a big year though. We're gonna get a landline.
Congrats, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Good luck
excited about it. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So Robin, it's your turn. Why don't you share a couple techniques? I actually had the opportunity to be on Robin's podcast recently, and it was so funny. She asked me for some techniques of how to network at a conference, and then I was like, oh, here's a couple, and then she rattled off like 6. So, so get your pen and paper ready, people.
So, I think Cynthia alluded to this in the chat. Like the best thing is be like, so have you heard Cynthia speak before? Or like comment on like the bad swag. Be like, really? All eBay could afford was some stupid chapstick. Use those natural human things that and be honest. The truth will set you free. So if you go up to somebody and be like, hey, how are you? I'm really not good at introductions like this, but I was noticing that we were in a lot of the same sessions, and I was wondering if maybe you do the same. So if you start out as a real person, then people are more likely to want to have a real conversation with you. So don't be afraid to acknowledge any weirdness that you might have. Just go up and say hello. Ask people about themselves. People want to hear their name. They want to share about themselves. So share and actually genuinely listen, and you're going to stand out. So I usually have a hit list of people I want to see. So if I look at who's speaking, I look at who's coming, and I say, okay, these are the people I think I really would like to meet. And so, yes, and you got to embrace your inner weird. Exactly, Cynthia. Embrace that inner weird. So you have to, so I look at people that I want to meet. So I'm like, you know what? Cynthia is like really, really like wicked smart. I really want to get a chance. So I make sure that I have a list of people that I know that I want. I have a list of questions that I'm hoping to have answered. Like, how do I get, so one trade show a while ago, I knew it was going to be ASD, and I wanted to know, I didn't want to buy a forklift, but I knew I wanted to stop paying liftgate fees. So I was looking for an alternative. So every time there was a pause in the conversation, I asked about that, and I ended up with a straddle stacker, which has worked really well for us. But I wouldn't have found that answer unless I had been like proactively looking for it.
Wait, can you say that again? What was that called?
It's a straddle stacker. I was like,
I think they sell that in the adult category.
I know. It's a bunch. If you haven't been in the IMA, there's a bunch of crazy people in there. So I was like, you're messing with me, aren't you? But it ended up being a real thing. So, so all of those things, and then just remember, everybody who's speaking is just a regular person. Like, don't Photoshop yourself in one of our family pictures. That's going to be weird. Don't, just come up and say hi. We're all here because we really, really want to help people. I mean, everybody on this call is genuinely somebody who wants to help other sellers. One thing that I think has been really helpful to me as I've gone out and networking is I try to always have an ask and a give. So I'm asking, hey, I'm trying to figure out this part of my business. I'm really stuck on how to manage this part of my cash flow. That's what I'm looking for help on. But I'm really great at hiring VAs, and I'm really great at I'm really good at doing OA. So you have those things kind of in your mind that you're thinking that I'm ready to offer something. So people know you're not just a taker, that you're actually there to actually contribute. And when people see that you're ready to contribute, then I think it opens them up to, be a little bit more interested in what you have to say. So don't go in it looking at well, how can this person help me? It's, how can I build a relationship where this person might be able to support me long term?
That's awesome. Someone posted a link to a straddle stacker in the chat, and Chris said he will not be clicking that link. I think he's scared. Maybe he has reason to be. I don't know, Robin. I don't know.
It's a real thing. I bought it. I promise.
122 people just Googled it.
The funny thing is they brought it and they're like, do you have a forklift? And I was like, no, this is the forklift. Like, but how do we get off the truck? I was like, I don't know, but that's the one that's gonna. So they had to take it apart on the truck because they're like, they couldn't figure out how to get it off. So.
Wow, I'm learning something new on a call about networking. So thank you, Robin, for that one. All right, Paul, why don't you give us a tip or a technique or something on how to network?
Okay. Yeah, no, what everyone said has already been pretty amazing. I really liked what Cynthia said, which is so true, is, be a giver, not a taker. And like Jason, I don't know, I'm kind of like into myself until I get to know somebody, and then I'm fairly outgoing. And for me, that generally, for whatever reason, always tends to be about sports. Whether it's, and then I don't know, like once I get comfortable with somebody, yeah, I have no problem talking forever. And then you can, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this, but um, bring business cards, have a way to, or we all have phones, have a way to exchange numbers and whatnot. Everyone knows when they hit it off with somebody, you never know where it's going to go from there. The only other thing, which is not really related to any of this, that I'll just throw out there for anybody that's wanting to come, bring a water bottle, drink some water before you get to Denver. We are at 5,000 feet. So I just got back from a run. I'm drinking water. So the thought was in my head. So I'm sharing that with y'all. Make sure you drink a lot of water in a couple of days before you come. So anyhow, what do you got?
Good thoughts, Paul.
What's your thought, Travis? What's your networking tips?
Well, you just stole mine. I was just going to say bring business cards, right?
Well, sorry.
No, yeah, I think everybody's been very, they've shared a lot of great tips. But Chris is still, he's like chomping at the bit to give his tip. So go ahead, Chris.
Well, first of all, I thought you forgot about me. Second of all, back in college, for anybody who doesn't know, I actually majored in sales. We took classes on networking. And the one thing I have to say is I hate networking events. They're absolutely horrible. They're designed to put a bunch of uncomfortable people in a room, make them forced to talk to each other, and sit there and go, "Hi, I'm Chris. You're wearing a nice tie today." Stuff like that. It's just ridiculous. So the tips that I do remember from my classes that were really helpful was, if you really, really want to get to know somebody, invite them to a dinner, lunch, a drink, to go grab a snack, take them somewhere and offer to take them. People have a really hard time of passing up free food or free drinks or free walks in the park. Don't take candy from a van, but still, if they're giving out free things, people tend to be a little bit more receptive to that. So that is one thing that we are kind of taught in the sales world is, if you really want to get to know someone, buy them a drink, take them to the bar and get them talking. Be yourself. And everybody, the hit list thing freaking scares me. Robin, I like it, but it scares the crap out of me. Like, you're like walking around with the list going, "Have to find them." But I have I love to go talk to people who are standing in a corner who look uncomfortable. Because those are usually the people who have the greatest minds but are the biggest introverts, and all they need is a little lead in, go, "Hey, I can tell you hate networking. You want to chat for a minute to act like we actually know what we're doing?" Stuff like that lightens up the mood a lot, and having fun in that humor bit is something that people, when they go to any networking event, they're always thinking business. Well, "Hi, I'm Chris. I sell things online. I want to actually to make money off of you. So hi." That's a really bad way to network. Saying, "Hey, I think like the swag, and since eBay could only afford this," type of thing, or snarky, sarcastic comments really lighten the mood. And then you can go in and start the conversation one way or another to really, like my dad said, build a personal relationship, and the business will come down the road.
Yeah.
Paul with his water bottle.
So Chris being snarky. Wow.
Yeah.
That was a shock.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah, I think, I think the atmosphere at the conference, I'll primarily be, hosting and introducing people, and I want to keep it fun. I want to keep it lively. And so I think the atmosphere created by the actual people running the conference, and not just me, but everybody on this call tonight, and people who aren't here, even the vendors. I think as we are willing and to share and to create an environment where it's kind of fun to to go up to somebody you don't know and just ask them a random question, and I think that's going to lend itself well to the networking that happens. I also strongly believe in the what somebody was talking about, the stuff that happens outside of the conference. So if you haven't bought your ticket yet, your plane ticket, get here on Thursday. Get here Thursday in the afternoon, so you can check into the hotel, and then you can head down to the hotel bar and just meet people and plan on spending some time before. And maybe you don't want to book your flight at 6 a.m. on Sunday morning. Maybe you want to book it a little bit later and stay a little later so you have some opportunity. Maybe you can take someone to the airport. All of these opportunities are there for the taking. You just got to do them. So once again, we're talking about the Rocky Mountain Reseller Conference. Everybody here on the screen is going to be there. We're really excited. It's going to be a great conference. If you haven't heard about it, go to resellerconference.com and you can see all of the details and everything, or you can message pretty much anybody here on the screen on Facebook, and we'll tell you all about it. We'll give you more information. It's April 29th and 30th. It's coming up really fast. I checked right before we started the webinar, and we have, I think, 25 tickets left. And so I think that we'll probably end up selling out. I'm pretty excited about that. It's going to be a great event. It's really going to be a great event. And it's so cool that this event that is so much about networking was started by Paul and myself by networking. It started because somebody, we had a conversation. And so who knows what's going to happen next year because of this conference. Okay, so we got round 3. We're going to go for it here. The last round is a lightning round, and this one's going to require a little bit of brain power, guys. So here's the lightning round. In 10 words or less, why should people network? Okay? Andy, go.
It's a blast. I slept every conference I go to. I share a room with 3 people, and it's fun. That was like 15.
It's okay, man. I should have known. There's no chance that any of you guys could do 10 words or less. At least not off the cuff. That is so not fair. Well, Kristen, why don't you give it a try?
That's the class.
Nope, she's not. She's got to
going
unmute
with
her.
0.
Okay. Everyone has something to give. Everyone has something to gain.
Ooh, quotable. You heard it here first. Tweet it. #MommyIncome.
Here, you bet.
All right, Jason.
You can accomplish more with other people.
Nice. All right. And we'll wait for Cynthia. You'll be next. You'll get unmuted in 3, 2, 1, go.
So life is richer and more interesting than the network.
Nice. Okay, Nate, you're on.
I'm really proud of this one. Like right when you said it.
He just died.
Working for yourself doesn't mean working by yourself. Am I not working?
Working for yourself doesn't mean working by yourself.
Yeah, whatever.
#McAllister Wisdom. That's awesome. All right, Robin, your turn and go.
Man was not meant to live alone. We do better in a community.
Cool. I don't say man was not. I don't care. All right. Okay, Paul, you got 10 words and you're going to be unmuted. 3, 4, go.
I'm going to steal the guy in FBA Masters tagline. Together we all win.
Nice. Sorry, Chris. He just stole your thunder. Come on, Chris. Your turn, buddy. Go.
Jacob.
Is it me?
Yeah, it's your turn, Chris.
Oh, sorry. Best way to build a sustainable business is a relationship.
Best way.
It's Tim.
Dude, nice work.
Mic drop.
Mic drop. Okay. Hey, guys, that's about it. Before we go, I just wanted to give a shout out to all of our sponsors that are going to be at the event. We have Be Cool, which they are a repricer. Then they're going to be there. So if you're interested or concerned about, how to reprice your inventory. They're going to be there. Seller Labs, they have a whole bunch of different resources for sellers. They're going to be at the event. OA X-Ray, a lot of you are probably familiar with that sourcing tool. It's an online arbitrage sourcing tool. OA X-Ray is going to be there. Prime Zero Prep, Brendan's going to be there from Prime Zero Prep Center. Great guy. Got a chance to meet him recently, and he's just very, very service oriented. So you guys will love getting to meet him. Inventory Lab's going to be there. I personally use Inventory Lab, and I really enjoy it. It really helps my listing process really significantly. BoxFox is going to be there. If you're not familiar with boxfox.co, it's a great place to get inventory in large lots. And sometimes you can get a really great deal. I've bought a lot of inventory on BoxFox. They'll be there. Merchant Words, George from Merchant Words. If you haven't met George, you're going to love him. He's a great guy. I've just seen some things that he's done, some interviews that he's done, and I'm excited about. I've never personally met him, but I'm really excited to meet him because he just seems like such a outstanding guy. Really knows his stuff. Merchant Words is a keyword researching tool for Amazon specifically. FBA Forward is a freight forwarding company. They're also going to be there and sharing with you their services as well. So, and then pretty much everybody here has something that they do, and so I want to give an opportunity to all of them to share. Guys, just maybe a quick blurb. I know you did it at the beginning, but we didn't. At that point we only had 80 or so people on. We've got over 100 now. So let's sign off by just kind of sharing a little bit about what we do. Maybe if you offer a service, go ahead and share a link or something like that. You can put it in the chat too. Okay. Go ahead, Andy.
Sure. So I have a course on private labeling. That's kind of like what my Amazon business is built on. So if you're interested in that, you can look me up on Facebook. Just go to Andy Slammons and search Andy Slammons. That's how you can find me.
Cool. Thanks, Andy. Hey, everybody, before Kristen goes, I just wanted to say Kristen was kind enough to lend me this platform tonight, lend us this platform. So thank you to Kristen and Amy, who is behind the scenes running the muting and the unmuting and all of the technical details. So thanks to Kristen and Amy. Kristen, why don't you share what you do?
Okay, don't forget Amy, she's Mommy Income in the chat here. Her and I are business partners at mommyincome.com. And what we do is we help moms juggle the struggle of earning an income at home and managing a family so they can design a life that they love while they're doing business and just doing all that stuff. And we have a lot of Amazon courses and classes. We offer a VA class. We have a beginner's wholesale class, a bundling class. We have some webinars that we've recorded on setting up sales tax and things like that. So you can head over to mommyincome.com and you can look at our products and see what we have there. We also have mentorship packages. And so Amy and I are working as a team together. And thank you again, Amy, for being in the background, posting all of our links and all that. That's wonderful of you.
Totally. All right, Jason, what about you? What are you up to?
Well, besides drunk Facebooking, I have some Udemy courses up on some FBA stuff. I have the Facebook group Arbitrage 411. I got a website for that. There's an eBay master group that I kind of do a little bit. That I just basically sell on FBA, basically. And I'm really, really into merch right now. That is my thing, merch. Yeah,
awesome. Cool. Okay, Cynthia.
Sorry, I was muted. Basically, what I mostly do now is I help sellers deal with Amazon, sellers who maybe have a listing that's been suspended, maybe they have their account is suspended, maybe they'd like to get ungated. We've been doing some of those. But basically, our job at Online Sales Step by Step is we are seller advocates. And so we help sellers basically get back to work on the platform. We help them understand things that they might not be doing right in their account, and basically how to keep Amazon off their backs. And I work with Nate as well, and I have a team of 7 here in the U.S. and 16 in the Philippines helping us do this. And so in addition to reinstatement work, we also do a lot of suspension prevention work for people who aren't suspended but keeping them that way. So anyway, that's who I am.
Wow. Thanks, Cynthia. All right, Nate, why don't you share a little bit about FBA Today and all the things that you're involved in?
Yeah, I run the Facebook group FBA Today. It's not huge, but it's 3,200 members. Beaver's in there. He's if you know Beaver Vanu, is that how you pronounce his name? It's bad that he's my admin. I've met him and I don't know how to pronounce his name. But he's my admin there. We talk Amazon, FBA, and if anyone knows me, I'm into a whole lot of other stuff. So I do kind of bring that in there every once in a while and try to keep it relevant. I work with Cynthia at Online Sales Step by Step. I'm one of the consultants there. We do suspensions and suspension preventions, and we have a course coming soon that she didn't mention, and which is going to be awesome. We're working on that right now. I also work with Mark Crawford on his How Many launch. I worked with Chris Green. We just launched the OA highlight, and we've kind of got other extensions that we're working on. Just a lot of stuff. My main blog right now is entreresource.com. Cynthia's right. I do probably like 6 or 7 different things, and I know it's not the most efficient use of my time, but it's the best use of my time for me personally. It keeps me excited, and I love everything I do, and I do have entrepreneurial ADHD, but it's how I like to operate, and I have a good time with it. So, and yeah, I do get to wear a Snuggie at work.
Nicely done, Nate. All right. Hey, Robin, why don't you share a little bit about what you do?
So my website is called Best from the Nest. We really focus on helping sellers grow, become profitable, professional Amazon sellers. So we have our Unstoppable Amazon Academy, which walks you through from the very beginning first steps all the way to 50,000 plus, Amazon sponsored ads, how to run, how to do Amazon SEO, bundles, wholesale. And we have a lot of workshops. We're starting a workshop on Profit First here in just about a week. So we have a lot going on in that. We also provide one-on-one mentoring and group coaching, and we were just really focused on making sure that all of our clients are profitable and successful, and because we all know that we started this business with some innate why, and we want to help people deliver on that. That's really what we're focused on.
Cool. All right, Paul. Hey, what did I leave out? What are we up to, man?
We're hosting a conference in 10 days, and all these awesome people are coming, so it's going to be great. There was one more sponsor who slipped in the last week. 24/7 VA is coming as well. That's pretty much all I know about them. But yeah, so I'm still trying to figure out a couple people that were left off this. We got Robert Rickey and Stephen Summers coming in from Ireland, from Dublin, which is amazing. And Alex Moss is coming from Australia.
Alex.
I think we got the 2 farthest travelers, so I haven't mapped it yet, but I'm trying to figure out which is actually farther that somebody's traveling. Somebody wants to help me with that.
That's awesome. I think it's Australia, but I think Nate said he'd buy him a beer, whoever it was. So
I said buy him a Foster's.
All right. Hey, Chris, what about you? What are you doing?
Oh, what am I doing? Usually my job is to give a bunch of free stuff away. That's kind of my resident expert of giving free stuff away. But we run FBAmaster.com. You'll see the link in the chat. You're kind of one-stop shop for a bunch of awesome free content that you can take a look at. We have the Online Selling Podcast that's incorporated in there. There's a YouTube channel. Just a bunch of great content packed in that. Also there's one thing that we're doing at the conference. We're hosting a brew bus. So if you want to come, no drinking is required. There's Coke, water, and club soda if you want to drink that on the bus. But we're just going to do a nice networking event where you can get out of the hotel, be with everybody, trapped in a bus for 5 hours, dropped off at nice places, and have a little bit of a good time. So both links are in there if you guys are interested. And yeah, that's what I do. And I got a bear. It's coming out of nowhere.
Awesome. Well, guys, thanks for joining us tonight. We had over 100 people on, and it was a great time. So far, we've got, like I said earlier, we've got 190, I think, last count, something like that. I got about 25 more tickets, and then we'll be at capacity. And I don't know, there's probably been some sales while we've been on tonight. But if you're interested in coming, I know it's soon, but Southwest does fly here. I've heard people getting flights for like $70. So you just never know until you actually, look into it. Chris, did you have something you wanted
right there?
Yeah, go ahead.
If you're looking for last minute flights, Frontier, if you don't take a checked bag, you can slide in from most area airports between $29 and $79 one way. So Frontier or Allegiant are both going to be great ways for you to get there on the cheap. So they just launched a new sale, I think, earlier this morning, and I was looking at some rates, and I know from Indy you could get there for like $79 one way. So you're looking at like maybe $170 to get there on a flight.
Yeah, that's awesome. So if you're on the fence, guys, I think what everybody here is trying to say is that you need to just do it. You need to make the investment. You need to put the money into your business in this particular way. It will pay off. I know Andy didn't share this earlier, but he shared with me that at one of the conferences he went to, someone told him about a bolo that made him $3,000. So how many conferences do you think that paid for? So I mean, there's so many opportunities, and the thing that is the most important opportunity, you won't know it until you're actually at the conference. So you need to go. And I know obviously I'm biased, but this is so much fun. It's so good for your business too. It's a win-win. It really is. So thank you all for being here tonight. Go to resellerconference.com to get all your information. And it's just been a good time hanging out with you guys. Thanks so much for the evening, and thanks for spending some time with all of us. So we'll see you guys in Denver in 10 days. Take care.